Chris Abel. It's time to talk tech. And Chris, I was on a plane flying. I was sitting on my Air Canada plane, and I'm on my way from Ottawa, and then I went to Montreal, then I went to Vancouver, and then I went to Kamloops. And on the way back, I went from Kamloops to Vancouver to Ottawa. And it was amazing. And it was awesome. And I love the technology on airplanes today. One of the movies series in the list was Back to the Future. And I was flipping through the movies. There were so many choices. They were all great. I wasn't sure which one I was going to choose. I did not choose Back to the Future. With what you're bringing today, I kind of wish I had. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a noisy week, but I'm doing okay.
A noisy week. Well, that
Yeah.
sounds like there's a story there. My goodness. Music. Let's talk about Michael J. Fox and what he is trying to do. Something has gone wrong.
Yes, he has partnered with Gibson Guitars because they are putting a global search to try to track down the cherry red Gibson ES 345 electric guitar that he played when he shot that sequence in Back to the Future way back in 1985. The problem is that the guitar disappeared and no one has been able to find it ever since. So 40 years have gone by and no one knows whatever happened to that guitar. The story is that he performed that beautiful, fantastic sequence of the enchantment under the sea for Back to the Future. And then afterwards, it was taken by him, stored away with other props and materials from the movie, and assumed that it was safely put away. It wasn't until the sequel was being shot that they went back into storage and realized that the guitar was missing. So they've spent the movie world all these decades trying to track down that iconic guitar. There's only one, there aren't multiples. And then Gibson Guitars got involved, and they've spent the last 16 years searching through the guitar and music world trying to find it. Still, no one's been able to track it. So they've launched this campaign called LostToTheFuture.com, and they're putting out the word around the planet that they want to reunite Michael J. Fox with that iconic guitar. And if anyone has any information or any tips, they can go to the website LostToTheFuture.com and supply the information. We've got a bit of a clip from a trailer that they've put out with a lot of the other cast members from the movie, including Christopher Lloyd. Have a listen.
Hi, Michael J. Fox. You may know me as Marty McFly.
Leah Thompson here. I played Lorraine McFly in Back to the Future.
There's something very important that all of us are involved with.
We need your help.
We are on the lookout for a missing guitar.
We're trying to find the guitar I played in Back to the Future.
No one's seen that guitar since 1985, and we need to find it.
Somehow it's vanished.
Erased from existence.
It's somewhere lost in the space-time continuum, or it's in some teamster's garage.
This guitar has been lost to the future.
So there you go. That's a little bit of the story of the trailer of what they're doing, Lost to the Future, and trying to find that guitar. I think this is good stuff. Randy Bachman found his guitar that was missing, so maybe they can pull it off, right? So
There's always a hope. And they say what they're doing right now is they're producing a documentary about the whole experience. So when this is done, hopefully they have a happy ending. But as you can hear, a lot of the original people from the original film, including Leah Thompson, have all gotten involved. And so hopefully at the end, we're going to have a really great movie to watch. And hopefully Michael J. Fox will get to play his cherry red Gibson guitar again.
oh, that's cool. Or at least hang it on the wall and look at it. What a great piece that would be for a decoration to talking. Create some conversation, that's for sure. Okay, Chris Abel is here. Real Chris Abel online, KRISABEL, if you do want to get in touch. We spoke previously about AirPods as hearing protection, and looks like things are starting to unfold there. What's happening?
So I had a chance this week. I had a horrible situation where there was a lot of construction being done on my building. And so I was just awash in the sounds of absolute construction. I recorded a brief clip just so you can get a sense of what I've been dealing with. Have a listen.
Oh, wow.
Just a huge cacophony that I've had to wake up and deal with day in, every day.
You
So
sure
this
it wasn't
gave me a great
tacos? I got to say it. I have to say it. Wasn't tacos or burritos? You sure?
No.
Nothing? All right.
The clip should have been a little longer, but yeah.
I think you got the point.
You got the point, though. So the wonderful thing is that when the Apple AirPods Pro 2 launched in Canada last year, it didn't have the hearing protection features. That's something that had to be added by Apple in Canada towards the end of the year. So this gave me a chance to finally test out that feature and see what exactly is involved and how much of a distinction it makes. And I found that it is incredible. So there are 3 modes in terms of hearing protection. So the first is that it will suppress the sound decibels down, but still you get to hear noise. So basically it's designed for going to a concert. If the concert's really, really loud, what it'll do is sort of lower the volume of the concert. You still get to listen to the music. The second mode is for intermittent noises. You're going through an environment where it's loud one moment and then it's quiet the next and then back to loud, and sort of shifts back and forth between those two. The third mode is just pure noise cancellation, which is what I had turned on. And I have to tell you, it reduced the sound that I was dealing with by 30 decibels, which made a noticeable difference. Even at times, I thought the construction had stopped. I pulled out the AirPods. No, my ears were just pulling away. I had to pop them back in to keep going. So it's been just a fantastic experience being able to have these and being able to test the technology, realize, yes, it does make a noticeable difference.
That's cool. That's great news. I mean, again, probably worth the reminder that we as the users are going to need to be careful walking down the street, walking down the pathways, all of that stuff, right? But I can only imagine, and I'm kind of making this up now that it comes into my mind, Chris, but it is possible that with things like AI, it would be able to filter out the hammering. But if, you know, there are sounds of someone yelling at you or sneaking up to you, like it might be able to filter that out a little bit, right? Like someone could let you hear the things you need to hear, but not the things you don't need to hear. So I would imagine we would get there.
Well, that's what I like. So when I mentioned those 3 modes, the AirPods do automatic detection. They will automatically detect when you've placed them in your ears. They will automatically detect when you've got harmful levels of sound that are hitting you. And then the AirPods will respond by automatically reducing the decibels. And it's up to 30 decibels of sound that's brought down, which is exactly what I needed this week. And so I'm so glad that I got these. Apple has been selling them for $330 here in Canada, and there will be more hearing related features that will be added through software updates later this year.
Okay, and that is just still the AirPod Pro 2, but just software updates, yeah? Just to be sure?
Correct. It's still the AirPods Pro 2, and yes, they are adding these features with software upgrades over time.
Okay, Xbox. Now, milk in a pitcher is not all across Canada, but everybody who's lived in Ontario knows milk in a bag, or they've experienced in some way. What is Xbox up to?
So this is from Xbox Canada. So this is specific to Canadian gamers. This week, Xbox Canada unveiled their new idea of a gimmicky novelty sort of product. So it looks like an Xbox Series X video game system, but internally there's no actual electronics. It's just an empty sort of carton-shaped box. And the idea is that it's designed as a milk pitcher. As we know, something that's distinctly Canadian is that you get milk in a bag, unlike the cartons down in the United States. And so as a Canadian gamer, you'd have this milk pitcher that looks exactly like an Xbox video game system. You could put your bags of milk inside and use that to pour on your cereal in the morning. They say it holds 1.3 liters of milk, and you can have a choice of either a black or a white one video game system to be able to store your milk in.
This is very cool. Well, in Ontario, where you don't get to get money back to recycle your drink containers, your non-alcohol drink containers, in BC and Alberta, where you do, you guys have cartons that you can recycle. And you can get your milk in a bag, which has 3 bags in another bag. But just so you know, you can't get a bag to carry home your bags of milk. Just to be clear, Xbox has you helped out. Chris Abel, thanks so much for popping in. As always, we appreciate your help adjusting the schedule this week too. Real Chris Abel, give him a follow. We post this stuff online. Thanks, bud.
All right. Take care, guys.